Well, I'm very surprised because all the teams that were seemingly being mentioned, Arizona was never really mentioned. And if they were, I think Fox Bet had them at like something 35-1 as a chance to sign J.J. Watt. So they were on the radar, but barely, basically a bleep on the radar. Skip, I'm surprised. I'm very surprised that he got this kind of money, given his injury history, given his productivity over the last 5 years. Now, Skip, you know what I think of J.J. Watt. For a 5-year stretch, I used to come on the show, for a couple of year stretch, I used to come on the show every day, and I tell you, he's the best player in football. That was the first 5 years. But over the last 5 years, Skip, he has been relatively unhealthy. He played, 16, 17? I think he played 4 or 5 games total. He was totally healthy in 18, had 16 sacks. And then if you look at 19 and then you look at this year, Skip, he only had 5 sacks. He played all 16 games. He had 5 sacks. And what you and I know, you from covering the game from 40 years, me from playing in the game and covering the game the last 15 years, is that guys don't normally get healthier as they start to age. And he's had a significant injury. Torn pec in 2019, tibial plateau fracture in 2017, torn lower ab muscle in 2016, Skip. He has an injury history. But here's the caveat. Skip, if you could secure the bag, basically $15.5 million for 2 years, $23 million guaranteed. Now, it's without knowing any other teams and what they're offering, this seems like a lot of money. And it might have been a situation where Arizona were only bidding against themselves. But that is a lot of money for a guy that's put up that kind of productivity over the last few years. So if you can get that kind of money, that kind of security, when your numbers seem to be heading in the wrong direction, Skip, you got to take it. Now, I know he said, excuse me, Kyler was one of the determining factors, but it's hard for me to believe that if Green Bay have a similar offer on the table, you like Kyler more than you like Aaron Rodgers? Josh Allen, Buffalo, if they have a significant offer on the table, you like him better than Josh Allen? Skip, I'll concede this. Kyler Murray, I believe, is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. But overall, from a team perspective, no, sir, no way. I can't go there. So for me, it seems to me one of the overriding theme, J.J. Watt got security that he wanted and a team that's pretty good. But are they better than Tampa? Are they better than Green Bay? Are they better than the Rams? I don't think so. So if he wanted to contend for a title, Skip, I think he could have really, if that was his main focus, I believe he could have went to other teams. But I believe money played a large role in this, and it should have. Guys, get your money. There's no guarantee that you go to a team, you take less money, you're going to contend for a Super Bowl or you're going to be in the Super Bowl. Get that money and let the chips fall where they may.
So, Shannon Sharpe. Once upon a time, there was a movie, maybe even before your time, a great movie called All the President's Men. Do you remember Robert Redford, Dustin Hoffman, about the Nixon Watergate scandal? Their source was Deep Throat.
I do.
And what did Deep Throat keep telling them? Follow the money. That was the money line of that movie. Follow the money. Let's follow the money all the way to Arizona. J.J. Watt just took by far the best offer on the table. Should we be shocked by that? Not really. No. I think that's just who J.J. Watt is. He just said, I want one last cash-in paycheck. I got no huge problem with that, although you might think that after 10 years in the league, for what turned into a sad sack franchise, J.J. Watt in Houston was 3-5 in the postseason and obviously never went very far in the postseason. And you might have thought, well, his priority should have been Super Bowl ring. But it was not. It was $23 million guaranteed, $31 million over 2 years total. And again, no huge problem with that. But I know Ed Werder, my friend Ed, and I have nothing but great respect for him, had tweeted all along that the first criteria in his choice, to your point, was quarterback. Well, okay, back to your point. Aaron or Kyler? Aaron or Kyler? I don't know. I think I would go Aaron Rodgers. Where is J.J. Watt from? Originally, he is from the state of Wisconsin. Green Bay is in, as you well know from your brother's days, playing for the Packers. Oh, it's in Wisconsin. And so everybody leaped to the early conclusion. My friend Lil Wayne was all over it because he's the biggest Packer fan. He was crushed by what Brady did to Rodgers at Lambeau. I think he still hasn't really surfaced after that, but he thought, a ray of light. Lil Wayne thought, JJ is coming home to play for the Green Bay Packers. Well, they're supposed to be like $11 million over the cap. I don't think they offered very much, if any, money. And again, a lot of people leap to the conclusion, well, JJ would join his two brothers playing for the Steelers. Well, apparently that didn't appeal to him. And you can argue, well, what's left of Ben Roethlisberger? It looks like they're going to try one more go-around with Ben at a very reduced salary.
And they got less money.
Yeah. And they got less money.
Skip, not to cut you off, Skip.
Yeah.
They got less money than Green Bay.
I got it. So to your point, Cleveland was supposed to be in the running. We could throw in 5 other teams, even Tampa. There was some thought of, would he try to take minimum wage to go play with Tom Brady, with that defense, with that Super Bowl champion? No, he is not going to do that. And I'm not sure they wanted him to do that. And back to your original point, I think Arizona was bidding against itself. So to Arizona's credit, what has it done the last 3 off seasons? It's gone splash, splash, splash. It's gone Kyler, #1 overall pick, way to go. Then stole DeAndre Hopkins from those Texans. Yep. And then they sent the owner, Michael Bidwell's plane to go pick up his private jet to go pick up J.J. Watt and his wife from Houston and fly him in and make a big production, big marquee value splash of we got J.J. Watt. Well, do you have J.J. Watt? Because you and I went back and forth. Is he the best player in football? The first day of this show, September 6th of 2016. What did you tell me? You said he's the best player in football. I said quarterbacks included. J.J. Watt's the best player in football.
Quarterbacks included,
Okay. I
and
can't
he immediately
see
got hurt.
I got it. But again, we've gone back and forth about Aaron Donald. I can see Aaron Donald as the best player in football before I could ever see J.J. Watt. But to your point, also, he's been beat up. I think some of it has been self-inflicted because he's trying all these stunt lifts for YouTube value, and he is more of a self-promotional solo act to me. But again, the sacks have dropped, the games played have dropped, and his ranking has dropped over time. If you really look at what he is, again, I'll go on your favorite website, the Pro Football Focus rankings of J.J. Watt. Well, he's been at the very top. He's been ranked, going back to 2014, he was their #1 overall defender. Not best player in football, but their #1 defender. And then he dropped to 5th the next year. Then 16, 17, he was injured. Then 18, he dropped to 11th best defensive player, still pretty good. Then he dropped 19 to 14th best overall. And last year he dropped to 21st best defensive player. Well, Shannon, 21st best defensive player, it's still very good. But
that's good.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of money for the 21st ranked defensive player.
It's a lot of money. And again, they got a big issue facing them with Hassan Reddick, who had 12.5 sacks last year. And I could argue right here, right now, Reddick might be slightly more valuable because he's so much younger and fresher and hotter. He might be slightly more valuable than JJ. Well, are they going to franchise tag him for, what is it, like $15.6 million? I don't know. I don't know if they have the wherewithal to do that now. So it may have come down to J.J. Watt or Hassan Reddick. And did they get that much better? Again, Chandler Jones has been hurt. He's getting up there in years, but will he come back and be Chandler Jones? Yeah. Maybe. And again, there's a lot to like on their defense. We love Budda Baker. We love Isaiah, and you can go on, Murphy.
Isaiah Simmons seems to, later in the year, Skip, the light switch seemed to have come on for Isaiah Simmons.
It seemed like it did. I agree. So there's a lot to like there.
Pat Peterson?
Yeah, definitely. But did JJ put them over the top? Well, I'm looking at the odds, and the odds didn't change. They're still around 40 to 1 to win the Super Bowl. 40 to 1. I don't know. NFC, they're around 20 to 1. And in the NFC West, they moved slightly, I think, from like 7 to 1 to 6 and 1. But guess what? 6 to 1 is still bottom of the barrel in the NFC West. And it's a very strong division, as you know. Seattle won it last year. We're still not sure what San Francisco is going to do with its quarterback. And the Rams
will be much improved.
Yep. And the Rams got their quarterback, obviously, in Matt Stafford. What's that?
Skip, it looks to me, Skip, is that, okay, look, we got to go attack the quarterback. Now, we don't know the situation in Seattle, if Russell going to stay or is he going to go. But in order to beat the Seattle Seahawks, you got to get Russell on the ground. In order to beat the Rams in that offense, you're going to have to get Matthew Stafford on the ground. Now, we don't know San Francisco's situation with who the quarterback is going to be. Is it going to be Jimmy G? Are they going to go into the market? Or are they going to draft the quarterback? But they can run the football, and you're going to have to be able to stop that offense at some point in time. So to your point where you said, okay, they had Reddick, and he had, 12 and a half? He had like 5.5 sacks in one game against the Giants this season.
Yep.
So they might be saying, I don't know, was he in a contract year? Is that because we hadn't seen that kind of production in the previous 3 or 4 years? So what is it? Did the switch go off, or was it a contract season? But for me, Skip, when you look at it, Myles Garrett and J.J. Watt. Myles Garrett is every bit right now the player that Chandler Jones is, considering Chandler Jones came out the injury. Zadarius Smith. Now, I believe the Packers are going to waive Preston Smith because he has a huge cap number, and I don't know if with that cap number the production match. So we'll see how that plays out. But Skip, $23 million guaranteed, 31 in total, 15.5 per year, which makes him the 9th highest paid defensive end coming into the season, which all but assures you Shaq Barrett is gone from Tampa. If J.J. Watt can get $15.5 million, Skip, what is Shaq Barrett going to get?
Well, he could get the franchise tag in Tampa. That's a possibility. So I don't know for sure that he's gone.
So that means if you franchise tag him, you can't franchise Levante David or your wide receiver Chris Godwin. I don't believe they franchise Shaq Barrett. He's made it abundantly clear he's looking to break the bank. He's going to be now. Chris Godwin seems to be the most receptive to the franchise tag. Levante David, Skip, as you mentioned, he's like 31. He might be the same age as J.J. Watt. So he's looking to cash in on that great season that he had, topped off by the Super Bowl, in which he did an outstanding job on Travis Kelce. So, but for me, Skip, when I look at this, I look at J.J. Watt's history. The first 5 years of his career, you can make the case he had the second greatest defensive, only LT, because Skip, LT won a Super Bowl and a league MVP in his first 5 years. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year the same year. So only LT in his first 5 years had maybe a better 5 years than what J.J. Watt had. I can see that. Okay. But over the last 5 years, Skip, he wasn't even close to what he was in the first 5.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.